Just running in a bit late today morning. Woke up a bit late, so just wanted to take it easy and jump into the stream. But here we are. Can barely hear me. Okay. Maybe this should be better. No SQL know-how. Is this better? I hope this is better. If not, let me just try and increase the volume. Maybe. Does this work? Hello, hello, mic testing. A bit, but not much. Okay, let me see if something's changed. Okay. Um, hello, hello. Okay, how about now? It's okay. This is now. As I just get closer to the mic, let me just stress that. Yeah. Okay, how about now? Is this better? I hope this is better. Hey, Bondad FM, welcome to the stream. Long time no see. Yeah, that is better. Thanks. I think no SQL know how. I know you're Kirk, right? If I remember correctly. Yeah. But yes, welcome to the stream, everyone. Thanks for joining in. And I've just resumed my streaming. Been a while since I streamed because, the situation here in India has been really, really difficult with respect to the COVID virus. So things were really difficult. So I didn't stream for a while. But now I'm back to streaming and feel really good coming back to streaming after a while. And let's get right into it. So what we are building here is, let me just open this up. So what we are building here is we are building a skill, an Alexa skill, which basically asks you. It's a word catcher. The skill is called Wordcatcher, and what it basically does is every day of the week it will give you a question, and if you answer the question correctly, you get 10 points. And all of the questions in a week, so it's like a puzzle game. So a week has a theme. So let's say this week's theme is time. So every day the puzzles will rotate around something related to time. So that's like, one day the answer would be clock, the one day the answer would be alarm, or something like that. And if you guess the week's theme correct, you get like extra points. So that's what we are trying to build here, weekly themed puzzle. So if I have to explain that in one sentence, it's a weekly themed puzzle. So that's what we are building. Yeah, and yeah, my family is doing well. Kirk, my family is doing well, and uh, my in-laws and my mom, both of them, all of them were affected by COVID, but thankfully nothing serious. But in my extended family, there have been losses, and yeah, there have been really difficult times. So yeah, hopefully we all get out of this soon. Kevin Evans is here. Hey, Kevin Evans, welcome to the stream. Hey, Oxygen Box. Uh, D-Linguist, I can't hear you. I think my audio is fine. I'm not sure. Maybe you'll need to check. D-Linguist, by the way, is my wife, and she's on the stream as well. Um, yeah, it's been a really difficult time, Bonded FM. But hopefully things are better now. Like, the cases have dropped now. Um, okay, is okay. The gain is too low. That's really weird. Is there something else that I need to do? Okay. Okay. I think maybe I'll just need to speak like this. If this works fine, just let me know. Maybe let's just get this right. Okay, is this better? This should be better. Okay, yeah. Like I said, the COVID situation in India is really better now, in the sense that the cases have dipped. You are getting hospital beds, so that's like a really good thing. But 2 months back, it was hell. I mean, getting hospital beds and getting medicines, all of it was really a mess. But thankfully, things have improved now, and hopefully, they don't get back to. We don't have a third wave, and hopefully, people will get vaccinated soon. So fingers crossed. I haven't been vaccinated yet, but Amazon has started vaccination centers in India, so hopefully I get vaccinated there soon. Let's see. Let's get into this right now. So like I said, we are building a weekly puzzle theme skill, and every week you get a theme, and you have to the puzzles will be around that specific theme, and if you answer that correctly, you get some points, and if you answer the weekly theme correctly, you get some extra points. So what we have been doing lately is, let's get started here. Let me just open up terminal. Yeah, I need to open the command prompt. So yesterday we cd projects here. Okay, cd DynamoDB local latest. Okay, so yesterday what we did was we figured out how to run DynamoDB local on our machine, and we also ran the NoSQL workbench. We figured out how to run NoSQL workbench and connect it to our local instance. So that's what we did yesterday. So we are just going to restart our DynamoDB local instance. So the way to do that, I had written out this function somewhere here. There we go. This is the function. So there we go. This is what we need to do. Oops. I think we need to type port 2525. So this should start port. The reason why we are running this on port 2525, I think when we were trying to run it on the normal port, there were some issues. The port was closed for some reason, and we did not want to go figure out which app or which service was using the normal port, so we did not bother with it. Let's open up the terminal now. Let's go to ngrok. Let's open up ngrok. Okay, ngrok, right? Slash ngrok http 3001. I kind of feel like we should just write a script which would just do that, but I know that we have to keep coming here again and again. Let's say I need to log in. Do I need to log in again? So we're just going to ngrok, updating our endpoint so that our local endpoint opens up. There we go. Let's just see if the debugger works fine. Is there something else that we... I really wish the console saved a lambda ARN and a webhook and let you toggle. That's an interesting idea. Yeah, I think I'm just wondering if that's... Oh, okay, you know what? I need to do this as well. My development endpoint is a subdomain that has wildcard from a certificate authority. Which do you find easier or better, running it in Java directly or as a Docker container? I think Java is fine. I mean, all I need to do is just type this command. But having said that, Kirk, I am not really much. I haven't meddled with Docker much. So if it's slightly more easier than this, like for me, this is just like literally a command, right? And I'm just done. If it's even more easier than that, I don't mind moving to something even more easier than this. Yeah, that's a good point, Bonded FM. If we could just switch between the endpoint types, yeah, that would be cool. At least for development perspective. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Now that we are done with this, I think let's go and so the name of the skill is Wordcatcher. So, oh, you know what? This is not going to work because
there was a problem with the
I
requested
did not
skills
start
response.
debugging yet. Let's start debugging. There we go. The server on port 3001. Okay, open Wordcatcher again. There we go. And this is this.
Welcome to Wordcatcher,
Alright,
the
so
ultimate
now
battle
that
for words. I will ask you a question every day, and you have to guess the answer. You get 2 attempts at guessing the answer.
so
These questions follow a theme.
I'm not sure if
every
you can
week, and
hear
if you guess the theme
Alexa
as well,
speaking.
you can get extra
Let me know if you
points.
folks can hear
Are you
Alexa
ready?
speak as well. Okay. What we need to do next is let's first open up NoSQL Workbench. And this is a really good tool. All you need to do here is, so we have set up this local connection which is on port 2525. Let's just open it up. We have a table here called as Wordcatcher dev. And this is super helpful. This tool is super helpful. And what we need to do next is let's open up our code base, our work log. Yeah, so we need to start saving users' performance to the database. And I kind of feel like I've done this so many times, but I'm still struggling with something. And maybe, Kirk, maybe you can help us because this is something I've been spending a lot of time on and I have not gotten anywhere. So I'll tell you my use case here. So what I'm trying to do here is, if you answer the question correctly on the first go, you get 10 points. If you answer it on the second go, you get 5 points. You answer it correctly on the third go, you get 3 points, right? Now, what I want to do is, I'm yet to come to the schema part. So we will come to the schema part slightly later. But this is what I was just trying to do as a prototype. What I'm trying to do here is that I am getting the current day. So let's say today is 154th day or 155th day. That is what this function is going to return. So basically 155th day of the year. So you get the current day. And I basically want to say that, hey, this user has scored on the 155th day, he has scored the points scored, right? This is what I'm trying to do, but I've not been able to do that. And I use a params variable here. I define all my params here. I do a my DynamoDB.putItem here. This is what I do basically. And I've defined everything correctly. I have my AWS DynamoDB defined as well. I kind of feel like I've done this before, but if you have any suggestions as to how I could dynamically take current, so basically I just want to do something like current day, and I want that to be the key value. I hope that made sense. If you have any suggestions on how we could do that, all up for it. But yeah. That is what I need to figure out. Yes, so let's just see, for the time being, let's just make this points, right? Let's just call this as points, but we are going to change this. This is just temporary. Let's go here. Let's say yes. And It's going to
Thursday
ask us
question.
Thursday question, and just for some context, I do not have all the questions right now, so I just have put in Thursday question here, and the answer is just clock. But afterwards, I'll start populating this with more hints. So let me just type in clock here. So if I say clock, what's going
That
to
is the
happen is
correct answer.
this is the correct
You
answer. You
get
get 10
10
points.
Do you want to
So
take a
now I
guess
get
at this
10
week's
points,
theme?
and let me open up the debug console. So here the the DynamoDB code says that one of the required keys was not given a value. I'm just confused why I'm getting this. One of the required keys was not given a value. Let's first fix this. And Kirk, Bondad FM, if you folks know the answer to this, please let me know. All up for any suggestions. New to AWS, after reading the documentation, I tried running into an error. Doc client. If your table has a hash key, you named. Okay, so get table definition. Okay, user ID. Is that why this is not working? Okay, let's go and delete this. How do I delete it? Metadata. Do I need to delete this from here? Can I delete this item, or can I expand operation? Okay, delete item. Choose a table. Wordcatcher dev. Okay. ID and okay. Where ID is user ID. Okay. Delete item. ID. Does this work? No, that's not what I need to do. Yeah, okay, condition expression where ID is equal to user ID, right? Let's just put 10 here. I'm really wondering what I might be doing wrong here. One of the required keys was not given. Let's do one thing, right? Let's try this from the scratch. Let's call this as Wordcatcher. Okay, let's see what happens if we try it on a new table. Would that work for some reason? Let's start digging. Let's stop debugging first, and then let's start debugging again. And then once we do this, open Wordcatcher. Yes. Clock.
That is the correct answer. You get
Okay.
10 points.
I'm still getting
Do
one
you
of the
want to
required
take a
keys was
guess
not
at
given a
this
value.
week's theme?
Do I need to define like the schema somewhere? Why do I come into this issue? Okay, one of the required keys was not given a value. I just thought like, okay, let's try this. Maybe if I remove this, does that help? Start debugging. And what I'm trying to do here is basically try and see if just passing the string, the user ID string, we know that that is perfect. Let's see if that works. Wordcatcher.
Welcome.
Yes.
Thursday question.
Clock.
That is the correct
Does
answer.
that work?
You get 10
Nope.
points. Do you want to take a guess at this week's
Okay.
theme?
Am I missing something on this? I referred from here. I have the table name. I have the item. Oh, I don't think I need to put into single quotes or something like that, right? One of the required keys was not given a value. Okay. The primary key of user ID somewhere in the DB config. I think the only DB config that I have is, there's no DB config per se, right? I have Dynamo table name, create table, Dynamo client, and it would just work, right? I mean, I've done this so many times before. I never remember having to do a DB config per se. But something tells me there might be something wrong, and I kind of feel like there's something wrong with this, because I pass the table name, I'm passing the user ID, and this is a totally newly created table as well, so there's nothing like there are existing metadata or something that I need to define or something like that. Do I need to go and define something here? We'll just check that, but let me just, in your table definition, so in this case what's happening, do I need to I see that other people have kind of created a table name, key schema, and all of those things. Do I need to do that? Do I need to define the table? Kind of have never done that before, and it's worked. Let's see. So, kind of feel like maybe I need to define the tables first. That's what I'm talking about bond.fm. So if you see the user underscore ID, you're seeing that I need to define it in the table config. At least in my code, there is no table config so far, right? And do I need to go in here and define something like this? Like, say for example, user underscore ID or something like that. That is something that I'm not sure about. Never set up a DynamoDB directly with the AWS SDK like you're doing, only in Ask SDK and Jovo. So wondering if Ask or Jovo are doing that behind the scene. That's a good point. Kind of feel like maybe that's what is wrong. Do I need to define a table before? So how to add an item? Okay. So this is how you create a table, and you have like customer ID and attribute type, name, key schema, and there you see provision, throughput, and table name. And then the create table happens, right? So let's see. Actually, you know what? That's a good point. So if you've done that in Ask SDK bond.fm, have you ever defined the table parameters before? Partition key name. Oh, you know what? And attributes name. I think they do have like a partition key name and an attribute key name. So let's try and do that. Let's see if that works. Partition key name. Okay, partition key name property. Yeah, I remember setting the table name as well. And you know what I used to do? There would be a couple of times where I would directly go into the AWS console, and I would go to the AWS console, and then in there I would define the item, partition key, and everything. But I just noticed that the DynamoDB persistence adapter uh, has like this attribute's name as a value and partition key as a string in the constructor. I'm kind of guessing maybe we'll just need to put the partition key name as, let's say, user ID. Let's see if that works. If we just do that, would that work? And I'll just come back up here, and let's just change this to user ID as well. User ID, and I'm going to name this table as please work let's stop debugging. Let's start debugging. Okay, let's open the table now. Sorry, let's open the skill now. Open Wordcatcher, and yes, and clock.
That is the correct answer.
Oh, there we
You
go.
get 10
That
points.
was it.
Do you
Point
want to
FM.
take
Thanks
a
for
guess
that
at this
help. I
week's
think
theme?
yeah, that's what we were doing wrong. So basically, when we are defining the persistence adapter, we need to use the partition key name and the user ID. So now if I look at here, there is a table, and this worked basically because we named the table as please work. I know, but yeah, that's how this is supposed to be. So the table name is please work, key schema is, there we go, user ID, right? And let's look at the items, and there we go, that is there. Now what we need to do next is if I just added, let's say if I just added another user ID, not user ID, sorry, if you just put in here something like 156, okay, we'll come back to this as help, right, and testing, right? Let's see if this works, right? Run, stop debugging, run, start debugging, exit, open Wordcatcher, yes, clock.
That is the
Okay,
correct
take
answer.
this.
You get 10 points. Do you want to take a guess at this week's
Let's bring
theme?
up the debugger. What happens? Okay, there we go. That works as well. Perfect. This is working. But we don't want 156 as the column, right? So what we want here is, oh, TC, thank you so much for subscribing. Welcome to the stream, TC, and thanks for subscribing. And I think you are, I'm not sure, but you're the first subscriber. I'm not sure, Kevin Evans, I think you are a subscriber as well, but weirdly TC's subscription shows up differently, and I think it's all the same. But this is the first time I'm seeing someone subscribe with Prime. Never knew that feature existed. Okay, so let's jump back into this, right? So now what I want to kind of do is, so we have the user ID, so let's revert this back to user ID, right? And let's change the table name as well to, well, Wordcatcher dev, okay? What we are trying to do now is, and I'm just thinking out loud here, so for your information, I'm not really good at this stuff, so I kind of feel like I've done this so many times and I still stumble at this again and again, and I need to look up such basic stuff again and again. So what I'm kind of looking to do here is we have the user ID, and I'm looking to see if they have answered today's question. And the way I would know that is I'm not sure what happened right now. I kind of think, like, was there a follow event or something? But let me just give me a second. I just saw something on my channel manager. So it's just an activity feed. Bonded FM, thanks for the follow. I think I just need to change the color so that it shows up on black screens as well. But thanks for the follow, Bonded FM. Okay, so what I want to do here is, I think this is the very basic thing, right? Last answered day. I'm not able to think of a better name at this point, so we'll just go with that. So basically what I'm trying to do here is current day, right? So if I answered today's question correctly, I should just say that, okay, I have answered today's question correctly, right? So let's see if that works, because, well, this should work, right? So let's start debugging, and once we start debugging, let's just reload it for luck, because luck is quite important in programming. So open Wordcatcher, let's say yes, and okay.
There was a problem with the requested skills response.
Could not create table Wordcatcher dev. The request processing has failed because of an unknown error. Why? Oh, you know why? Yeah, I remember when we were reading through the when we were reading through the DynamoDB local setup. If you have case sensitive tables, I think it treats it to in the same way. So maybe that's why. How do I delete a table though? Interface based options, particular options. I can't delete a table. Can I do like no, I don't think relational database queries would work, but let's try. I mean, delete word underscore catcher underscore dev. Is that something that would work? I don't know. There we go. Nope. Okay. I kind of feel like I don't want to go down that path again. So what I'll do is, I don't want to spend a lot of time on figuring out that. So let's just go with Wordcatcher dev underscore, the next best name that I can think of, underscore 1, right? And let's start debugging again. Okay, now what we are going to do here is open Wordcatcher again. Yes.
Thursday question.
And clock.
That is the correct answer. You get 10 points. Do you want to take a guess at this week's theme?
Expected last answered day to be a string. Isn't this a string? Aren't we returning a string? No, we are not returning a string. So let's convert that to a string as well. Current. Let's just change it to var, and then just change this as, current day is equal to current day dot to string. There we go. Hopefully that should work. stop debugging, start debugging, and to do exit, open Wordcatcher, and we say yes, and then we say clock.
That is the correct answer.
Yep, there we
You
go.
get
That's
10
a success. So
Do you
let's
want to
reload
take a
this.
guess
Go
at
to
this week's
Wordcatcher Dev
theme?
1. Yeah. So now at this point we have the user ID, we have the last answered day. So we know that the user has answered the question on day 154. What we are going to do is, okay, let's build up on this because we've gotten somewhere. So I think at least this much we could do. Oh, you know what? I'm just thinking out loud here. So if a user comes back to the skill and we know that okay, so here's what we are going to do, right? So now sorry, and by the way, I'm really sorry if I kind of I'm in the middle of a thought and I cut short that thought and I jump onto another thought, because I mean, as I'm kind of almost able to finish a sentence, I kind of feel like, okay, you know what? I think I should try something else. So it's like I have that squirrel syndrome and I keep getting distracted. So really sorry if that bothers you folks, but yeah. So now what I need to do here is, now we've put the item here. So I think this is perfectly fine. But if someone says open Wordcatcher again, right? Yeah, so here in the launch request, I kind of feel like they are going to be a repeat user, right? So we need to write the logic for repeat user, of course. So the first time user is going to be a different experience and a return user is going to be a different user, right? So constant, and at this point I'm not really worried about cleaning up the code. I will kind of do that at a later point. At this point I'm just focused on getting it working, and then I'll kind of like combine all of the code and clean it up at a later point. User ID is equal to, you know what, I could just define it at like a different place, but that's fine. Let's user ID, right? And now what we are going to do is we are going to call DynamoDB, check if this user ID already exists, and get all the keys, right? And ideally what I would do is I would do this within an interceptor. I would have it within an interceptor, and that way that code is available, and like I would capture all that details and I would put it into the session variables, but we will do that later on. Right now just focus on getting this working. Okay, so the user ID, we have the user ID now. What we are going to do here is I think we need to see how to reading and writing a single item, getting an item. Yeah, I think this is what we need, right? Something like this. So where read params is equal to let's just take this should be fine, right? And table should be table name, right? And key name should be user ID, and this should be a string. And then what we are going to do here is pass the user ID in here. Okay, and I feel the projection expression, if I'm not mistaken, the projection is expression to get only a subset of all the possible attribute values specify a projection expression. So if I just wanted one specific value at this point, which is basically just last answered day, I could just say give me last answer day. I'm guessing this is what that means. But if I just want like the entire thing, I think I don't need this. Let's see. I mean, we'll figure this out. Oops. Now let's read params. Let's call the database. Okay. This is what we need to do. Instead of this, we are going to say my DynamoDB, which is our local DB adapter, dot get items, and pass the read params here basically, and do like, okay, we have success, so I think this should work perfectly fine. Okay, so let's just stop debugging, start debugging again, and I can kind of guess like this would work. Remember, I think all of this could have been done with persistent attributes as well. Like we could have just used persistent attributes, but the reason why we did not is I kind of foresee us using one or two tables. And if we are using one or two tables, I think the persistence adapter does not allow you to do that. The persistence adapter is mainly takes your user ID as a key and it just handles it like that, right? So that's why we kind of did not go down the persistence adapter path, and we are doing like using my DynamoDB functions. Okay. Now what we are going to do here is let's exit and open Wordcatcher. Okay, that means there we go.
Welcome to Wordcatcher, the ultimate battle for words. I will ask you a question every day, and you have to guess the answer. You get 2 attempts at guessing the answer. These questions follow a theme every week, and if you guess the theme as well, you can get extra points.
So what
Are you ready?
Have here is we have this, right? So we have last answer day and we have the user ID. So we've gotten that. So now what we will do here is from data.item. What is this though? Why does it? Okay, I feel like this is success, and then if I did, okay, let's do this. Console.log of user, not user ID. Let's get the last answer day. Last answer day should be data dot. Is it going to be data.item dot last answer day? Would that give us what we want? Exit. By the way, I hope you are able to hear Alexa's voice from the simulator. Yeah, we are getting this.
Welcome to Wordcatcher, the ultimate battle for words. I will ask you a question every day, and you have to guess the answer. You get 2 attempts at guessing the answer. These questions follow a theme every week, and if you guess the theme as well, you can get extra points. Are you ready?
I'm just wondering if I should put an await here, because that way we would not go to the next steps until this gets sorted out. Async await always confuses me. I feel like the more I know about it, the less I know about it. At this point, what I think we need to do is we are going to do if data.item.last answer day, and I kind of feel like I'm doing this wrong, but we'll figure this out. If data.item.last answer day is same as today's day, right, then that means the user has answered the question for today. Where is that function? We could just use this, do a string equivalence. current day. If data.item.lastAnswered.day is equal to current day, console.log, you have answered today's question. Let's see if that works. I have a feeling it won't because DynamoDB does this thing where it's like, the string comes in as the JSON as well. So I'm not sure if this is really returning the value. And I think we should get, I'm forgetting what we call this here. We've done this before, but if this runs into an error, that's what we are going to do now. Let's try. Okay, exit, open Wordcatcher. Yes. Clock. Oh, why did I even
That
do
is the
far?
correct answer.
This is success.
You get 10 points.
Why
Do you
does it
want to
say
take
success?
a guess at this week's theme?
Wait, no. I was not looking for that. What did I miss? Okay, answer, clock. Oh man, what was I looking for? I think it never went into here, right? Or did it? Let's stop debugging and let's just restart it once. Kind of feel like. Run start debugging. Exit. Okay. Open Wordcatcher. Yeah, it's not going in here, right? And
Welcome to Wordcatcher, the ultimate battle for words. I will ask you a question every day, and you have to guess the answer. You get 2 attempts at guessing the answer. These questions follow a theme every week, and if you guess the theme as well, you can get extra points.
I don't know which.
Are you ready?
Do I have it in? Do I have it in personal? Yeah, there we go. We built up a skill called as the dialog quiz. I think we had dabbled with that, something around there, where we are getting something from the database and we were trying to read that, or maybe voice greetings. So let me look into both of them, right? Do I have Sublime Text? No, I don't have Sublime Text. So I think I'll just have to open it in Visual Code. Voice greetings. Why does it not open up? Interesting. File, open folder. Voice greetings. Kind of feel like maybe here in the greeting skill we had done something similar. So I'm just checking if we've done something like that before, and you can see here we use the persistent attributes. Get persistent attributes. I don't think so. I don't think it's this project then. Maybe it's the other one. Oops. File, open folder, Wordcatcher is what we are working on, the ultimate dialog quiz. So we use DynamoDB here. Doesn't look like that. Yeah, we do. Yeah. Because we have this DB helper where we have like this entire AWS stuff, get the opponent for game, and I think we have this, this marshalling that needs to be done, right? So if you see, yep. What we do here is we pass the key ID as user, we run a promise, we get an item, and we resolve data. But we're not doing anything to the data, are we? We're sending this back as a user. This is add game get user. So I think somewhere in here, get user with db helper dot get user id. Oh yeah, I think we needed to do something like this: data of item of access time of n. I'm wondering, I think this is we'll need to see if we need to do something like this thing, unmarshalling or marshalling thing here. But if not, I think we can just go with file, open folder, this as well. Okay. Last answer day of, okay, I think we need to just add folder to workspace and ultimate dialog quiz. So this is a previous project that I worked on where you are asked to guess which movie is the dialogue from, and we had done a lot of these things before in here as well. We could just reuse some of that code. So that's what I'm doing at this point, and you can see that I have arranged the code in a proper way here. I have like a DB helper which does all my DB functions and all those stuff. But yeah, so what are we looking for here? We are looking for get user ID. So data of, okay, let's see, that is what I need to do. Last answer, D of S, is that what I need to do to get the string? Which is really awkward to do, but that's okay, I think. Let's see. Open Wordcatcher. Oh,
that is the correct answer.
Exit. Let's just stop the debugging. Let's run it again. Open Wordcatcher. You have answered today's question. So yeah, that's what we needed to do. So basically,
welcome to Wordcatcher,
we needed to do like
the ultimate battle for words.
I think
I will ask you a question every day, and you have to guess the answer.
Last time.
You get 2 attempts at guessing the answer. These questions follow a theme every week, and if you guess the theme as well, you can get extra points. Are you ready?
Get DynamoDB. DynamoDB get item without the S. I don't know. That's the most, without sort key. Yeah, I think. No, that's not what we're looking for. And I think Google would kind of give a better result. DynamoDB get item without, what it's called, key type, without key schema. Specifies the attributes that make up the prime again. Mesh also defined. Okay. No. No, that's not what we are looking for. Interpret the following. Okay. Yeah, like the text, you should get without, if you use the document client API. The real pro tips are always in the comments. Can API return common JSON rather than the S kind? You have to use DynamoDB client for this. I've never figured out what's the difference between DynamoDB document client and the simple DynamoDB, like just calling up DynamoDB like this. I wonder what's the difference there. Simplifies working with items by abstracting the notion of attribute values. This abstraction annotates native JavaScript types supplied as input parameters, as well as converts annotated response data to native JavaScript types. So that's why we use DynamoDB document client. Okay. Right. So now, should we just try this? Let's try this. Because we've already come so far. Why not? But would DynamoDB document client support? Yeah, I think it should support. Let's try this. Document client. Right? DynamoDB document client. And then we are passing the table name. We are passing the key. Oh, yeah, and then key, I can just pass the value. That's what it says. Okay, what is this now? Why is there an error here? Is there an extra? Yeah, there we go. Right? And then instead of getItem, this becomes get. Right? And then I think we don't need this S here. Okay, let's see if that works. Run, stop debugging. Start debugging. Bring up the debug console. Cannot read property params of undefined. Okay. Run, start debugging again. Params of undefined. Where is params coming in? Okay, read params of undefined params. Oh. Do I need to change this as well? Does this work? Okay, let's comment out this code for now. Just need to first start debugging. Okay, did I save it properly? Yep, I did. I kind of feel like the document client is the document client not supported or something on local database? You know what? Let's not spend a lot of time on that. We'll come back to that later on. I do not want to spend a lot of time trying to figure that out. I'll keep that for some other day. But okay, so this works. So if data.item. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say let speech output is equal to nil, and speak output, not speech output. Speak output is equal to nil, and what we're going to do here is if they answer today's question, speak output is equal to, yeah, I think this is something. Let's add a new string here. Answered daily question. Answered daily question. You have answered today's backslash question, and we will come back to the point where we are asking the customer if they want to answer the weekly question if they have not answered that, but let's not worry about that right now. So you've answered today's question, and speak output is going to be basically handler input. Sorry, how do we get our strings? Handler input dot t, and pass the string variable here, basically. There we go. So handler input dot t, and what did we call our string? Answer daily question. So answer daily question. Else, and I think we'll need to just take this entire code here. Let's remove this. Let's take all of this and put it in the else block here. So basically we are calling DynamoDB, we are checking if the user exists, and the way we check this is by seeing if they have if they have answered today's question or not. Basically, if they've answered today's question, their name would be already in the database, right? Else number would be already in the database. If not, we will direct them to the workflow. Would this work? I see no reason why this would not work, but let's start debugging. Let's open up the debugger slightly, debug console, and now exit. Open Wordcatcher. Whoops, what just happened? You have answered today's question. Yeah, I did. Okay. Like, do I need to move my handler input within this? What do I need to do? Why does it still do handler input dot t? Is this? Do I need to move this up here, or do I need to let's try both. Let's try moving it here, so we basically get a return. I think that's not ideal, but anyways, start debugging. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah. Let's reload the page just to be sure. Open Wordcatcher.
There was a problem with the requested skills response.
Yeah, and the problem is, I kind of feel like I messed up with the await thing. Let's see if removing that works. Let's remove this and let's bring this back here. Let's see if that works. I wonder why. that is not working. Open Wordcatcher. Okay, you have answered today's question, but kind of felt like that's why I would use await, right? So do I need to make, I know this is like stupid, but do I need to make this a var? So we have speak output, we update the speak output. I kind of feel like I need to do a open Wordcatcher. It's actually sending in a empty response, right? Which means speak output is, I've just updated the speak output here, right? It goes in here, it updates it, and then it's supposed to come here, but because I don't have await, let's put in await. What happens now? Should I just put in a promise? I think I'll need to put in a promise. That's the only way I think this would work.
Sorry, okay, I had trouble doing what?
I need to exit the skill. The skill session is open. Open Wordcatcher. Nope, still no luck. Kind of feel like it would be better if I wrap this inside a promise instead of putting in an await, right? Because helpers database.js, if I kind of put this within a helper, if I put this within a promise, it would resolve and then it would return me everything properly, and then I could use it. But I wonder why this is not working. I mean, this should work just straightforward, right? I think this is something that we'll need to check in at a later point. But okay, I think we made some decent progress today. Not too happy, but not too sad about this as well. But it's okay. I think what we did today is we were able to save the users. So we've saved the users last answered day to the database. And what we are doing is when you restart the skill, we are able to get that value. And once we get that value, we are checking that with the current day. And then we are telling the user that they've basically answered today's question. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for today. Tomorrow we'll figure out why this is not reaching this. I think it has to do something with, I'm pretty sure it has to do something with await or promises and the way how Node.js works. I feel like need to do a bit more debugging on that. But yeah, I think we'll sort that out. The next thing that we are also going to do tomorrow is we are also going to record if the user has answered that week's theme or not. And if not, basically when you come back to the skill, it's going to say, hey, you've answered today's question, but you have not yet answered the weekly question, right? And if they have not answered the weekly question, we can ask them that, hey, do you want to answer the weekly question? And try and give them a hint for that, right? So that's what we are trying to do. For that, I think we will, that's what we are going to do tomorrow. I think that's it for today. Pretty good session. As usual, my Discord links are in there at the bottom. Come join my Discord channel. That's where all the notifications go live for the session. I really appreciate everyone joining in. Kirk, Bonded FM, Auction Box, Kevin Evans, TC, thanks for the subscription, and yeah, D-Linguist, my wife. Thanks for joining the session. Really appreciate all of you taking out time and hanging around with me. See you all tomorrow when we'll try and wrap up some of this logic. That's it for today. Thank you so much and see you all tomorrow. Bye.